Liz Ogumbo first broke into the African music scene in 2010 after the release of her debut album KenSoul. The Kenyan-born and now South African-based singer, songwriter, entrepreneur and fashion designer's hit single Whatchyu Know About Her seeks to redefine what it means to be a woman and is currently causing a stir on TV and radio airwaves across the continent. She is in studio with us this morning to tell us more about her second album called KenSoul, The Lotus Chapter. A very good morning to you, Liz, and welcome.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
So
good to see you. Thank you for a beautiful introduction. Can I keep that in my pocket?
That's what Morning Love does.
Keep it and just bump it and just say, hi guys, who are you? Here we go. There you go.
We certainly will, Liz. All right. First of all, let's talk about your musical journey. Where did it all begin, and what was it about music that made you decide singing or music is what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life?
It's hard to say that's what I decided. I think it just happened naturally. I would say that I'm definitely born in a musical family. And even though my musical family does not do it commercially, trust me, when you come home, you'll be like, okay, there's a choir or there's a thing happening. But I'm also named after my great-great-grandmother. Her name was Elizabeth Loye. Okay. And she was a musician between the 1860s to the 1940s. And she actually made a living out of that. And she was, you know, really made a lot of wealth out of that, acquired a lot of wealth out of that. And so I think for me, a lot of people who see me today, I didn't really get to meet her, but a lot of people say I actually remind them of her.
Really?
I come from a very musical background. My dad taught me a lot of songs as well as I grew up as a child. We also came from a family where we literally sang. I mean, we sing still. We're still up to now. I will go to my parents' house, and before we go to bed, we sing and pray. So I think for me, music is not like I didn't wake up and just say, let me go sing. I just had music and yes, and a lot of people know me for fashion. But in 2010, I released my first album, which is called KenSoul, still out on iTunes, Spotify, whatever. Okay. And it was KenSoul because I couldn't find a sort of genre for my music. It was a lot of my different influences from Taarab, from the Swahili culture in Kenya, to chakacha, to blues and swing, to jazz, to hip hop, to reggae. I mean, like, I love music. I'm really a musical person. So I think music is in my DNA.
And I could see the passion in your eyes. It's so burning and it's so infectious.
Thank you.
All right. So what kind of influence does your Kenyan roots have on your music?
I think for me, because of the fact that I'm a very cultural or culturally driven creative entity, and I really thrive on culture. And I know that because besides sharing my Kenyan soul, I know that what I thrive on is traveling into a space, and the first thing I want to know is, what are these people about? What do they eat? What type of music do they listen to? So music, Kenyan soul, because of the fact that it's KenSoul. Kenyan soul is KenSoul. Okay. I dub my sound as KenSoul because I couldn't find a genre for it. A lot of my roots and heritage are deeply rooted. I mean, if you think about some of my music, like Maropamore, which was a hit song on the previous album, is definitely something that is so richly rooted to my Luo tribe, because I'm from the Luo tribe by the lake. Swahili culture, right now I have a thing everywhere I perform. I just got back from Senegal. And when I perform, I have a dance called chakacha. It's not my dance. It's a Kenyan dance. Okay. And you roll up the lasso, you tie it on your waist, and then you whine. It's a different whine. It's not a belly dance, but it kind of looks like a belly dance. And I find that...
We hope to see it on stage, eh?
Yeah, well, you know, I don't know. Yes, I don't carry my lasso, but I will give you some of that. Okay. So I think for me, the little different bits and pieces that we carry along, like the dance chakacha, which I literally start dancing, and people are like, what is happening, is something that makes me so proud of where we are from, of some of the things that we pull out of our culture and run with, that are timeless and that are fresh and that are cool and that are who we are. That's what we are.
Quickly unpack for us what the KenSoul Experience, what is it that you're aiming to achieve with this project?
KenSoul Experience is to share my Kenyan soul with people, and I think, and with my audience, and with the people that love my music and my fashion. And KenSoul is not necessarily just KenSoul because it's soul music. It's actually everything that I embody as an entity, as a being. So it's food. It's my love for food. It's my love for... So when you think about Swahili food, like, you know, your mandazi, your chai, you know, if you come to my house, I think I brew the best chai. Someone please try and come and check. I think things like, you know, the music, the dance, and a lot of other different elements. I love wine as well. It's not Kenyan, but you know, I live in South Africa, which is the headquarter of wines. So I think for me, the whole idea is to just share my soul beyond just music, and that's what KenSoul actually
means.
Briefly,
as an all-round African creative, what does Africa Month mean to you, and how are you celebrating it?
Okay, so for me, Africa Month means that I'm still alive in this world because I live an African life in an African continent, and I am an African child. So I don't really have to celebrate being African on this month. However, because there is African Month, I'm happy to do everything else that we want to do and heighten things to another level. So I don't really... I live an African life. I feel like one of the biggest things I would want to urge Africans today...
So you don't see the need of celebrating it?
I celebrate, I live it. This is the life we live every day. I live an African life every day. Okay. And I think that for me, every day is worth celebrating who we are. And I think that one thing I want to add on is, I think that there's longer the days where you can just hold an African passport and say, well, I'm African. I think that we have to be a bit more conscious and take more responsibility in this continent as African citizens who want to see the Africa that we are looking for, the Africa we're yearning for. And that means that we are going to be revoking your passport too, if you're not being responsible. So I think for me, all I'm doing is urging Africans in this continent to say, what is it and how can you give your time to something that you really care about? We say we care about development. No one's going to change that for us unless it starts from here.
Well, Liz, I'm so blown away. Interesting views you've got. I wish you could have all day, but unfortunately,
so just saying,
we don't have much time.
Yes,
no, but thank you so much. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, hope to see you on the Morning Live stage.
Thank you.
All right, that's a Kenyan-born performing artist, fashion designer and entrepreneur Liz Ogumbo. She was speaking to us about her latest single that explores the redefinition of womanhood, titled Whatchyu Know About Her, taken from her current album KenSoul, The Lotus Chapter. Let's go for an air break now.